Clips.
Alrighty, YouTube, another one of Kip's Clips. And I know I keep returning to these particular kind of topics right now, but it's what's motivating me right now. It's what I'm getting drawn to. It's not selecting it out. It's what I feel that I would like to point out a few things that some people might not be aware of. So over on Depka Files, and again, when you're reading these sources, Depka Files included like the BBC, Fox, like all these entities, RT, Press TV, bars, the whole shebang. You do your due diligence and scratch beneath the surface and see where they are, or what the best guess is, what agenda, whose agenda they are getting paid to parrot. You have a better idea of analysing the news as it comes to you, and do bear in mind that lots of players out there using their ability to propagate messages, propaganda through the press, their contacts, their outlets, to they use their ability to do that as leverage with negotiating with other countries, let's say. And it's not all just James Bond spies out there trying to kill each other and the strongest one survives and stuff. There's a lot even more crazy stuff than most people would ever really understand. But again, it's like naive to think it's so two-dimensional, three-dimensional, the world in which we live. So anyway, sorry, let's have a wee look at this. Coming Trump-Putin-Erdogan deal rumbles through May, Middle East. And let's see what they're talking about with this one. So, real, fake, half-truths, Depka file, Israeli intelligence, propaganda pusher, message propagator. So what they're doing is exactly what I just mentioned. They're trying to propagate messages, real, fake, for this reason, for that reason, through their media outlets. And it gets it out there in the lexicon, gets people thinking. Wasn't too long ago, Russian Insider had an article talking about Russia maybe throwing Iran under the bus if America threw Ukraine under the bus. That was the deal that they were putting out there. It was coming from Russian Insider, I do believe. Don't quote me on that. I think it was Russian Insider, and it was coming from a Russian source anyway, which what appeared to be not just a news outlet with Russian inside it, but like as I said, I scratched beneath the surface and seen that it was like Russian sources. So anyway, let's have a wee look at this muted deal coming through from Israeli sources. Just before we do that as well, Donald Trump, family members, his father, Fred Trump, I'll leave a link for all this down below. One thing of footnote, during the 1980s, Fred Trump became friends with future Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, who was then working for the United Nations in Manhattan. Right? It's not just the Wikipedia stuff. That's pretty much been lifted from here. You can go all into it. There's Fred Trump there. 70s Tash. And go and look into Netanyahu, who he is. I mean, he's even under investigation right now in Israel because he's such a fine, upstanding gentleman. Trump was part of the mafiosa, and he was a successful business guy in New York. I mean, like, these are things that were staring people blatantly in the face, and people that stand up there on their pedestals and act intelligent, and they didn't. They didn't. These things didn't speak to them. You know what I mean? This is kind of like, I mean, when police do intelligence on somebody or whatnot, the first thing they do is go and look at all the list of their associates. They don't look at what the guy standing up there and saying, they look at the list of their associates. It's the first, like, sort of a bit of like a detective work, police work. And yet you do it here, and people didn't do it. That hard. I'll get back to you in a wee second. So just bear that in mind, that Trump set up his business through a $1 million loan from his dad, Fred Trump. Fred Trump had a business associate of Benjamin Nutjob. So it shows a list of associations. Use make of that what yous want. But think of what most detectives would do if they were investigating criminal cabals and all that, right? Sorry, where were they? Right. So what they're talking about here is Trump's going to do a deal with Erdogan by kind of throwing Gulen under the bus. Right, so Gulen isn't Trump's man, but he was the Americans' man before the failed coup. And I know it's hard to keep up with this, but this is what's happening, and this is the outcome. So it looks well. This is what this article is. This is what the idea that this article is pushing. Again, it's probably not going to all manifest into reality, but it's a position somebody's trying to get out there, out in the lexicon, let's just say. Putin might be willing to give up Snowden. Assange is stuck in London and Ecuador, and that's pretty much under Putin's sphere of influence, let's say. Trump could give up Gulen, which would keep Erdogan happy, and that would pretty much, with that kind of alliance, and they go on in this article about Donald Trump going in and kicking out all of Iran from the Middle East, of Iraq, Yemen, so on and so forth. I'll leave a link for this down below, you can go and check it out. Again, let's have a wee look down the bottom here. Trump is holding in abeyance for a number of weeks his decision about transferring the US Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Meanwhile, he's will expect to come. I read it on my screen and then I'm doing it this and I can actually read stuff. Where the hell was I from? Meanwhile, he was expected to come to terms with Nutjob on a US-Israeli formula for the future of Israeli communities in Judea and Samaria, aka the West Bank. That's, they don't call it the West Bank because that's like what the Palestinians people call it, not part of Israel, whereas Judea and Samaria is part of Israel. Right, listen to the language that's now getting used. Days. Somebody mentioned this to me the other day. I can't remember what story it was about. I can't remember what outlet it was. I just weird, the Judea and Samaria, and at first I knew it was in that region, one part of the 12 tribes and whatnot, and originally, but I didn't know it was particularly referred to by the Israeli administration. That's what they refer to the West Bank as. Anyway, I digress. Just as the late Ariel Sharon struck a deal with Bush, the flood of reports claiming the president has already decided against the embassy move to Jerusalem are unfounded and the work of pre-Trump elements. Now, maybe he will, maybe he won't. It's out there. They're talking about it. Both sides are able to use it to push Trump's agenda. Trump's not doing it in Mike Rivero land. And over here, Trump's not confirmed anything. Wink, 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 nudge, nudge. So, no matter what universe you're in, you can read that, or that can be propagated. This, maybe I will, maybe I won't. Definitely, maybe, coulda, shoulda. 9 out of 10 cats agree that I coulda, maybe, woulda move it if I decide to do it. Maybe. I mean, it's political bullcrap. Anyway, I digress. I will leave a link for all this down below. It's well worth a read. Again, understand the source, understand what the TV is, understand this is here to control you, it is propaganda, and then it's safe to read it. You're reading it going, right, what are they trying to implant in my nut? What is the narrative here they are planting? And it's subtle changes of language by administrations and stuff, or regimes, by regimes, and their outlets, like moving it from West Bank from Judea to Samaria. These wee subtleties that like you might see Trump starting to do, and not only like he'll probably say it in one quarter and then like say something more ambiguous in the other quarter, and then like sit on the fence, two-faced, vampire-esque, man, everything to everybody, perfect politician. While in the meantime, you look at his associates, dad's associates, look at the clique that he's rolling in, and go and look what kind of go and look what kind of agenda they appear to be pushing. Creation of Greater Israel. They go on to here to talk about Egypt, the Emirates, America, Turkey coming together to sort out ISIS in the Middle East. Right, so what looks like happening is Trump isn't going to be the peace president. He's going to be the all-out war with the scarecrow of ISIS to eradicate, in this article they say Iranian elements in the Middle East. What that means is pro-Iranian elements which are pro-Hezbollah that may or may not probably do exist in some countries, which gives Hezbollah a certain infrastructure and allows them to resist in Lebanon and further afield in Syria recently, which it looks like it's the ultimate goal because that's one of the most close on the ground viable enemies to the state of Israel pushing its borders. And these to me are realities that most people are aware of but refuse to discuss and talk about and bring up these discussions when approaching these subjects, and it makes me think, why not? It's surely it's staring everybody in the face. Sure, nobody can read like these pieces of crap propaganda and not see them as anything other than propaganda because they're dressed up in Depkafile or the Sunday Times or the Sun or what have you. All have editorial slants, propaganda agendas to fucking push, and it ain't hard to spot it. Anyway, I digress. I'll leave a link for this down below if you want to go and check out the master plan that the Israeli propaganda machine is pushing now. Alright, YouTube, thumbs it up, share it on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, all the good stuff. Leave all your comments, good, bad, ugly, and indifferent. I will read and respond to as many as I can. It's Sunday, so check out. Oh no, I don't know. I think Cookie's doing his show tonight. I got to give Steve's a shout out last night, but make sure you tune into those two guys. I share them when I can on the community, the mystery show, and Soul Excalibur Cookie's show. I think he's doing it on Monday now. Stay tuned for the news rant and stuff. Alright, YouTube, thumbs it up, share it on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, all the good stuff. Leave all your comments, good, bad, ugly, and indifferent. I read and respond to as many as I can. Alrighty, YouTube, thanks for listening. Oh, and if you want to support any of my stuff, feel free to use the Patreon and PayPal buttons down below. It's much appreciated. Cheese!
Come on. Keeps the cheese and the maize and the rats and the race and those peasants in the days like Edmund Police. It's a real ball. Come on.